time's 11:33 and you're listening to the community programme on New Sound Radio 92 FM with Sujata. We'll go straight to the phone lines and we'll speak to Jonathan Tod, who's written a fantastic book called A Starter's Guide to the Meaning of Life. Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning, Sujata.
Welcome to New Sound Radio.
Thank you very much.
Jonathan, the book is an absolute delight. There's so much information and it's a very thought-provoking book.
Well, thank you very much. I hope it's going to be thought-provoking for lots of people, and I hope also that it's nice and simple.
It is. What inspired you to write the book?
Well, the inspiration came through a variety of things, but actually it was a bit of it was a vision that sort of said, actually, you've got to write this thing because it's your kind of part of your contribution in this lifetime.
Yeah. Would you say, like some people when they go to a place where they're moved and they get like not a light, but a vision, where did you get your inspiration? Were you in a special place or were you travelling?
Well, on this occasion, I was travelling, but it was sort of very late at night, and I had this very clear sort of waking vision, I guess, and a lot of things happened during that period of time. I don't know how long it lasted for, but one of the things that came through is that you should write this simple book, and I think one of the reasons that it asked me to do it is because I have a background in the law, and as a result of that, I'm probably, I suppose I can provide some simplicity to something that can be seen as quite complicated. I mean, I read a lot of spiritual work, and a lot of it is very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
But I find that some of it is too involved. It uses a language of its own, and a language that's not very easy to understand. And so what I've tried to do in a short book with lots of beautiful pictures is simply to say it as it is, without any complication, without any superfluous material.
Yeah. And I've noticed a lot of flowers in the book, which is absolutely fantastic. Scenery and flowers, a lot of nature shots in the book.
Yes, well, I mean, I think one of the reasons I did that is because the book is very much about people and people's role in this life.
Yeah.
And on this world, and so what I wanted to do was trying to balance that with nature, and nature's a part of the tapestry of life that I find most difficult to understand. And so I wanted to balance the book, which is really about people, which I understand a lot better, with beautiful shots of nature. And I spent a lot of time and care picking out really very beautiful images in this beautiful world we live in.
Jonathan, but don't you find sometimes life can be very frustrating, but fascinating as well at the same time? Like it delights you and then it frustrates you. There's emotions, negative and positive all the time. Why can't we just live in a positive frame of mind? It's very difficult when you're living in the world.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm afraid I struggle with this as much as anybody else. I think it's a very complicated world we live in, and I wonder whether 100 years ago people lived a much more simple thing without television and iPods and now iPads to interfere with your connection with God. Yeah. I think that one of the things that we lack in this world is silence. Silence is something I think a lot of people fear. They don't know what to do with that.
Well, we should cherish silence. I think silence is the most beautiful a gift of nature, I think.
It's a gift of nature, but it's also in that space that you find within yourself the beauty, the godliness that we all have, and everyone's got it. It's a question of finding a space in which to find it for yourself. No one can teach and tell you about it. You've got to feel it for yourself, and you only do that, it seems to me, in a place of silence. And silence, I'm afraid, is something that in the way that we live now, it's the thing that's missing.
It is. Is it very difficult to grasp the meaning of life? I know this book is a starter's guide to the meaning of life.
I think the wonder of this world is that it's different things to different people.
Yeah, true.
And this is my account. It hopefully will strike chords with lots of different people in different ways. But everyone will experience it in an entirely different way. But there is a sort of underlying theme that I think is true and true for everybody. And it's just a question of how people find it for themselves. And everyone can do this. Everyone can do this, and everyone, I hope, will.
Yeah. What's your next step after this? This is a starter's guide. Is there an intermediary, or is there a final book on the meaning of life? Will there be a sequel?
I don't know. I don't know where this is going to take me. I suppose I'll wait for another vision and another some direction on where to go next. I mean, there are a few things that I'm working with at the moment, but they wouldn't be a sort of a natural follow-on to this book. I mean, this book actually stands alone. It is simple. It is. There's nothing really more to know than actually is set out in this book. And everything that's more to know is something that, you, hopefully, when I mean you, I mean everybody, would feed on this and feed on things like it to find it for themselves. The whole point, I think, about spirituality is to find it for yourself, find your own truth, find your own inner beauty.
Yeah. And Jonathan, what really I was quite touched was that you've got a little section on all the different religions as well, which I thought was really good.
Well, thank you very much. What I try to do is, in the first part of the book, sort of set out what I see as the sort of simple truths, how to achieve them, how to work, how to serve in this life, and how you can enrich the tapestry of your own and indeed everybody's life around you. Yeah. But also to then go into a second section of the book in which I sort of try to say that all these other religions and wisdom schools and individuals, great people, Leonardo da Vinci, Rumi, all these people who for centuries and centuries have been speaking in their own ways, in their own times, the same sort of truths that I set out in the book. Things haven't changed. It's just a different way of expressing them. And I think all the world's religions, and indeed non-religions, like, for instance, Buddhism, they all have the same sacred truths. I think some of them, I'm afraid, lose the simplicity of what is a very clear, beautiful message in some of their rhetoric. But the fundamental truths are there for all to see in every worldwide religion.
Yeah. The meaning of all the religions are the same, and the ultimate goal of all the religions are the same as well, isn't it?
Well, I think it's love.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's true. It's what life's about. It's the joy that you express, that you feel yourself, and that you can share with everybody. That's what life's about. It's not being a lawyer, an accountant, and not even in some ways a father or a mother. It's about you, and it's about your connection with God.
Jonathan, when you wrote this book, did you travel to different parts of the world? Because there's a lot of knowledge in this book. Not
for the purpose of this book. I mean, I do travel quite a lot, and I go off on pilgrimages with wonderful people called Peter and Sarah Dawkins, who are fantastic, and they allow you to be yourself and find your own way, and they teach through, I suppose, facilitating your ability to find your connection with God. And actually, albeit that I have travelled quite a lot, you can be sitting in your lounge, just by yourself in a place of quiet. And again, all these great writers would say the same thing, that actually truth is not something you have to travel to discover. It's within you.
Okay. Look, sometimes I always say that people always travel and they get an inspiration if they see maybe a beautiful mountain, or if they see a scenery which is, out of this world. And maybe that must connect you with God.
I think that everything helps. Everything helps. I mean, for me, there's so many different influences, including influences from nature. But of course, there's so much beauty between people. We do lovely things for each other, or at least, that's what we should strive to do. And when you see something beautiful, or you read something beautiful that just inspires you to take you to a different place, that sacred place which is within all of us.